Here's my client's painting. I just finished up during the wee hours of the morning. Um, what it is, scenario is you got the sun rise coming up in the east, and I got just enough that I put just enough reflection in here in this area where it catches it through the water, but not too much because I didn't want it to stand out bright. Also, I only indicated on this bass weed just little hints here and there. And of course, water being translucent, it's also reflective all inside, because the water sparkles underneath because the waves it just makes the reflective light move around. And of course, the bass, they're very reflective. So they tend to look metallic, a matter of fact, and pearls, so they tend to reflect it. It takes very little for them, very little light for it. So the when I contacted the client, I asked her about, we talked about what was her dad's favorite lure, and she said she liked the old beetle spinner, the old school stuff. I used to use them too when I was a kid. So on up, and I still got some of them, but it's a little bass grub. I just left that kind of a bright yellow because in the water you're not going to see. It's so bright you're not really going to see much shadowing in it because it just stands out so hard. I did shadow the metals in the spoon and stuff a little bit. Left it a little rough. Could have made it like glass, but I says, well, the water, it's spinning. It would be spinning, so that's good enough. It would more, it wouldn't be perfect anyway. You wouldn't see it with your eyes perfect at this level. I put the string in, got it in there like a braided line, or yeah, you could even say it was the old green monofilament. But also what I did, I used, when I sealed everything, I used a matte finish to seal this, and then I used a high gloss for this coat, and that way that indicates everything's wet, it's underwater. But here's what you got to watch. When you add clear, you can see the detail in here in all of this. When you add the clear, it takes all of this little fine detail and it kind of trades out with itself. You got to be aware of that. And the thing is, normally in water you would have that anyway because everything changes the way it looks in there, and even the fact the wood would be wet would change color. So that makes it okay. These little tree ferns that grow on the edges they're flat. There's no semi-gloss or gloss to them. You got your dead limb sticking up from this one. Of course, the lighting comes to here, catches it. And there's a little catch there, a brightness on it. But everything was textured in. What you see, you can feel. If you see a bass, you can feel it. You can feel the ferns. These are in the distance, so you wouldn't feel anything. You'd feel the textures in the foreground and the wood and everything. Anything in the foreground, like I say, the sand, you'd feel the sand sticking out. And when you move around, everything changes. So I got it in the frame. So originally this wood would be that. And this is a frame I cut for another one. But that's what you work with. And what I'll do is I'll actually carve that in there. And I carved in real quick. I put in some cattails, one on each side, facing either way, being aware that the sunrise being this way, I made sure the lighting actually went this way and this way, like it's coming through and reflecting on it. And so what I did, I put a real high, heavy gloss on it. And it's just kind of going along with this scenario. I just kind of made it like where it looks like an old wet wood that's been in the water a long time, so that's why I kind of threw the hints of the green in here. Like the algae grow on it and it gets all old looking and everything. So it just kind of fit. Left my little gaps in it on purpose. Didn't want it too tight because I just wanted it to look like a real coarse, rough, put together from some old wood that somebody would have built, whatever. But I got it all framed in, come in pretty good. It took a while. It took me about 6 hours to frame it, get it all assembled and square it up and everything. But yeah, it come out real good. So one day this week, I guess I'm going to start on another one. This is number 4 of 4 in 1998. I did 4 of these. One I still have on my wall, but of course, you know, I left the stumps in each thing the way I did the bass. You know, they're different colors and everything, but I kind of went with the same scenario. Just kind of altered the plants and the lure. I tailor fit the lure to whatever the person liked. I've done that 4 times. I personally like the gold Rapala, so I put a gold Rapala lure up here. So, and this one here, probably, this will be the last one of this style, unless somebody just wants one. But, yeah, it's come out really good. But I had the canvas sitting there for a long time, and I babied it because I've always wanted to finish it. So I looked at it, and after I talked to my client, I said, well, you know what? I can do this one up. Real high quality stuff. I only use good stuff. I don't put anything cheap on it. Good, even the canvas is Frederick high quality. But I even emphasized here on this knot hole that was in it, because you know how algae kind of tends to cling around things, and I kind of kept my angles to where if it's sitting in the water or whatever you pick it up, it's not going to be perfect everywhere. It's just going to be little hints here and there. But yeah, I think it come out all right. I think she'd be happy with it, and I'm going to get it to her this week. So that's what I got till I start another one.